All right, welcome to the Explainer. Let's be honest. Have you ever struggled to make a new habit stick? I mean, really stick? Well, today we're diving into some absolutely brilliant ideas from James Clear's Atomic Habits that might just be the game changer you've been looking for. Okay, so let's start with this really powerful and kind of counterintuitive idea. I want you to just forget about making these massive, life-altering changes overnight. Seriously. If you're after real, lasting results, there's a much better and, surprisingly smaller way to get there. See, most of us have it completely backwards. We tend to overestimate the importance of that one big, defining moment, right? And at the same time, we totally underestimate the incredible power of just making tiny improvements every single day. And when you actually look at the math behind this, well, it's pretty staggering. Just think about this for a second. What if you got just 1% better each day? Where do you think you'd end up after a year? You might think, oh, a little better. Nope. Thanks to the magic of compounding, you'd be nearly, get this, 37 times better. That is the incredible power of tiny gains. But, and this is a really crucial warning, this whole thing works in reverse too. A tiny 1% decline each day doesn't just set you back a bit. It absolutely erodes your progress, grinding it all the way down to nearly zero. You've got to understand your habits are like the compound interest of self-improvement. And that interest, it's always accruing, whether it's for you or against you. So to really help us wrap our heads around this whole compounding thing, James Clear uses this absolutely brilliant analogy. It's all about a plane flight. So picture this. You've got a plane taking off from Los Angeles and it's headed for New York City. The flight path is all locked in. Everything seems totally normal, just a routine cross-country flight. But then, right after takeoff, the nose of the plane shifts by just 3.5 degrees. Now, this is a tiny, almost imperceptible change. Nobody on board would feel a thing. The pilot probably wouldn't even notice it on the instruments. And yet, that tiny, unnoticeable shift, when it's compounded over thousands and thousands of miles, means the plane doesn't land in New York City. It ends up landing hundreds of miles away in Washington, D.C. And that right there, that is exactly what your daily habits are doing. They are that tiny 3.5-degree shift that is slowly but surely determining the final destination of your entire life. So, the big question is, how do we steer our own trajectory, right? Well, this brings us to rule number 1. You have to design your environment. Forget willpower for a second. It's all about making your cues obvious. Because your willpower might be weak, but your space is powerful. The idea here is so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. You just make the triggers, the cues for your good habits, impossible to miss. So, you want to practice guitar more? Don't hide it away in a case. Leave it on a stand right in the middle of your living room. Trying to eat healthier? Get a bowl and put that fruit right on the counter. And if you want to drink more water, just place water bottles all around the house. You're basically engineering your own good behavior. And look, this isn't just some nice theory. They actually tested this out. A hospital in Boston completely rearranged its cafeteria. All they did was make water the most obvious, easiest choice to grab. And the result? It was incredible. Soda sales just plummeted, and water sales shot up by over 25%. And the best part? It took zero extra willpower from anyone. The environment did all the heavy lifting. Okay, but even with the most obvious cues in the world, sometimes just starting a new habit can feel, well, overwhelming. And that brings us right to rule number 2. You have to master the start. How? By making your habits ridiculously easy. Seriously, this is how you finally beat procrastination. And this is where the famous 2-minute rule comes into play. It's a game changer. The entire goal is to shrink any new habit you want to build way, way down until it takes less than 2 minutes to do. That's it, 2 minutes. So instead of being overwhelmed by the finish line, you just focus on mastering the art of showing up. Let's say your goal is to run a marathon. Forget the 26 miles. Your new 2-minute habit is just put on my running shoes. You want to read more books? Your new habit is read one single page. The secret is that once you've started, momentum often just takes over and does the rest of the work for you. All right, next up, we've got rule number 3, which is all about linking your habits. This uses a powerful and, I gotta say, almost lazy technique called habit stacking. Honestly, this strategy is genius because it's so simple. All you do is you anchor the new habit, the one you're trying to build, to a habit you already do every single day without even thinking about it. Think about it. Your current habits are already hardwired into your brain, right? They're like these well-worn paths. So by linking a new habit to one of those, you're basically hijacking an existing neural pathway. It's so efficient. So after I pour my morning coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute. Suddenly, your morning coffee isn't just about caffeine anymore. It's now the automatic trigger that reminds you to meditate. Okay, so what's the big idea that really ties all of this together? Where does this all lead? It's about taking that first tiny step, for sure, but it's really about shifting your focus from goals to systems. And ultimately, this is about something even deeper. It's about your identity. Because here's the thing, the real goal isn't actually the outcome. It's not about losing 20 pounds. It's about the identity you're building. It's about creating a system of habits that proves to yourself day after day who you want to become. See, the goal isn't just to read a book. The goal is to become a reader. The results? They're just a byproduct of the system you build and the identity you embody. So all of this leaves us with one really crucial question. And I want you to forget about tomorrow or next week or next year. What is the one tiny 2-minute action you can take today, right now, to start shifting your own trajectory, even by just a single degree? Because as we've just seen, that tiny shift, that's where all remarkable change actually begins.